Hello, Aquarius. Welcome in. Welcome to my channel, Wing Spiritual Clarity. My name's Wendy Wing. I'm doing a reading for Aquariuses, Aquarii. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Cross watchers are welcome. Specifically, I'm tuning into the energies around November 2025, seeing what divine messages of guidance come through for Aquariuses. So welcome in. I'm glad you're here. Let's get to your messages. All right, what's the overall energy of this reading? Thank you. Pithy. What's hidden from Aquarius? Oh, that's a lot. Sure, we'll take it. All right, outcome and advice. Interesting. The cards, the way they came out, there's some hesitation, resistance. They came out in a very unique way, which is very Aquarius. And so much hidden. We'll get to that. Let's start with the overall energy. We have Virgo energy, the Hermit, for the overall energy of your reading. The Hermit card is someone going on their own way, their own path, maybe isolated from others. The Hermit's willingness to journey by themselves through difficulties creates enlightenment. So it feels like for Aquarius, those who are here for this message, you might be feeling isolated, alone. You might be going through or have gone through a dark night of the soul, an ego death. Oh, I love the moon is here as well. I'm hearing peace and surrender around this, around being alone. All right, let's see what this is about. What does Aquarius need to know about the Hermit card, about being alone, meeting themselves in deep and profound ways? Two of Wands, Ace of Cups, Knight of Pentacles. Two of Wands is my card for reimagining yourself in your life. It feels like you're taking advantage of this time by yourself to reimagine who you are, who you prefer to be, and what life you prefer. The story of the Two of Wands is this fella here in the red. Hurried back, had a life, went out into the world and hurried back home. And now they've got the whole world at their hands. And they're looking out and thinking, oh, I've already done this all. I've already experienced this. So really what he needs to do is reimagine himself and his life and get back out there. Feels like a failure of imagination to just assume I've already experienced in an infinite world of infinite possibilities, that in a human lifetime, whatever, you've already experienced everything there is to experience. I don't feel like that's the case. It looks like you're really taking advantage of this time by yourself to reimagine yourself and reimagine your life, what it is that you want. What is it that your soul wants? What is it that excites you, gets you your motor running, excitement about life? And it feels like that is an indication to help you navigate this and decide what it is that you're curious about. If you can't reach excitement, because that's a pretty high vibrational energy. Ooh, I'm excited. Oh, I'm inspired. Those are high vibrational energies. And if you're feeling low, at times I've chronically been very low, and so I can't reach excitement or inspiration, and so I reach curiosity. Curiosity helps elevate. I wonder about this. I wonder if I could learn this. I'm curious about that. All right. And then we've got the Ace of Cups. This is flow state, learning how to love yourself. Not in some mamby-pamby kind of, yes, I love myself. I love you. I love you. Let's give you a bubble bath and eat bonbons all day because I love you. That's not love. Those actions could be loving, but when I'm talking about the type of self-love is putting yourself first and filling your own cup before you fill others. Never giving from an empty cup. You have to fill your cup first. Anyone who wants you to give when you're depleted, you have nothing to give, that's not love. Learning to love yourself could look like healthy boundaries. 7 of Wands, standing up for yourself. It's not always comfortable. Learning to love yourself could be learning how to love all parts of yourself. Not just the comfortable, easy parts, but the uncomfortable parts. Loving all parts of yourself. Not cordoning off parts of you that you perceive as bad or wrong, but how can you integrate and love all of you? How can you understand all of you? How can you make decisions that are loving for you? All right, and then the Knight of Pentacles. This is the slowest moving knight of the deck. The horse isn't even moving. But look at this empty field here. I see pentacles as seeds, seed of potential. But you have to nurture and water it, plant it in the right place with the right sunlight, the right conditions. And it takes some time. What I see about the Knight of Pentacles, why he's the slowest knight, is he's planting seeds in all these fields, these empty fields. He is cultivating an environment. He's not just an action trying to get somewhere, but he is growing things along the way, what he needs along the way. So it takes longer. But he's the only knight that is assuredly going to get to his destination. He's taking the time it takes. And then when he gets to that destination, he hasn't rushed there and has nothing. He's bringing all that he's cultivated along the way. All right, let's get into what's hidden because there's a lot to unpack here, Aquarius. All right, we have the Queen of Swords. I love these cards. These are new. I got so many great recommendations for tarot cards, and I've gotten some new ones. This is the Tarot of the Cosmic Seed. These cards, love them. Thank you so much if you were part of the advice for these cards. They're beautiful. All right. And then we have the 6 of Wands. The King of Cups in reverse. 10 of Swords. 8 of Cups reversed. Let's see. Knight of Wands reversed. Let me double check on the... Yes, Knight of Wands, reverse, new cards. Thank you for being so patient. 8 of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune reversed, Death reversed. All right, let's get through deciphering what these messages are. So right away, the Queen of Swords. It feels like you are very discerning in what's hidden. Feels like this is new. A lot of discernment, and Six of Wands, success at what you take action towards. You're very discerning about what you go after. Wow. This feels very Aquarian. Like you're able to feel that desire and you're perceiving it up in your upper chakras. Going after what you desire. It looks like when you go after what you desire, you do have success. You've had that in the past. King of Cups in reverse, Ten of Swords. Okay. Someone emotionally immature. Someone manipulated your emotions and created a very painful ending. I feel like that's why you're alone. Going Hermit energy. There's emotional attachments for sure. It feels like this is, even if this is truthful, it feels like emotional attachments. There's reasons that you are emotionally connected to this person, to this relationship. It feels like it's hard to let go of. They're incredibly inconsistent. They might be a player. It feels like you put in a lot of the work. Eight of Pentacles. It feels like you're the only one working on this or worked on this relationship. You're the only one that put the work and the effort. It feels like you've been in lesson, a never-ending lesson, repeating. It feels like this person is your lesson, that allowing yourself to be in this hermit mode is allowing you to, the time it takes to love yourself, because this does not feel like a person that's loving. If you're the only one putting in the work in a relationship, then it's not working. If you're being emotionally manipulated, maybe because you've got attachment issues and emotions and this person's manipulating your emotions, it feels like they are very wounding, and it's in what's hidden. So it feels like this activity of hurting you, hurting your emotions, being very comfortable, manipulating you through your emotions, creating pain. This is someone emotionally immature themselves. They don't know how to deal with their own emotions. Feels like behind closed doors, they've got you to torture, to make painful comments, to get you to feel worse than they're feeling. It makes them feel better. This is someone who doesn't know how to deal with emotions. And this is not a loving act. This is cruel. This type of energy has someone that's not telling, that's keeping it their secrets, that is tolerating this horrible treatment so they can be nice to everyone else. They can regulate themselves behind closed doors by punishing and hurting you, is what I'm getting. But by that activity and being cruel to you, it lets them unload their emotions, and to everybody else, they're the nicest person. Because they're not processing their own emotions. They're not working through their emotions. They're handing them off to you cruelly. And yet there's this emotional attachment to someone who's inconsistent. And that inconsistency is kind of what's got you hooked. The emotional attachments. Maybe you're anxiously attached. Chasing someone who's inconsistent, hot and cold. But that dysregulation that it feels like over time they give less and less, consciously giving less and less, so you make up for it and give more and more. You do the labor, all the work in the relationship, and it feels like this person, this connection has been a lesson with Wheel of Fortune in reverse. It feels like it's been something that has just repeated. It's never ending. It's not going to change. This is the relationship. It feels like the only way to end this is for you to choose something else, to choose yourself, to choose to be alone and reimagine yourself. Heal from this and reimagine yourself. Love yourself through this shift and change. It looks like you are seeing this with the Queen of Swords. You're having some type of inner discernment. And there's this potential with the Six of Wands of a huge glow up. You might have CPTSD, emotional trauma, woundedness. And what I'm seeing is after being by yourself, after allowing yourself to go through the process of ego death, dark night of the soul, see yourself and this person clearly, there's this huge glow up that I'm seeing. Keep that hidden. You don't need, that's for you to know that there's, after healing from this type of connection, there's a huge shift. It's like you've been weighted down for so long, and when you let go and start healing, you just rise up to where your vibration is. It's just a matter of detaching from this, healing those emotional attachments, recognizing what they are, changing being willing to see yourself different and change your story. Ooh. All right, Aquarius, outcome and advice. We have the Two of Swords in reverse and the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Now the Knight of Pentacles is showing up in reverse. Two of Swords reversed. There's been a fog of confusion. Several twos. So it feels like you're making a choice, figuring out, choosing who you want to be, what life you want after this lesson of a relationship. It feels like you're getting clarity. The fog of confusion is clearing. It feels like there might be a third place option, something else that you hadn't considered. Maybe asking for the universe, put it out there in the universe. I'm looking for suggestions on who I can be and what would be soul fulfilling. Ask and ye shall find. All right. I do feel like there's a third place opportunity here, or something different. Okay, the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Remember the Knight of Pentacles? And I was talking about this looks like something that you might be in, the energy that you might take a hold of and use in November, cultivating the environment you want. Not waiting. I'll be happy when I get to, but I'm going to cultivate what I want along the way. I want happiness. I want stability. I want whatever it is that you want, Aquarius. Plant the seeds of that. Nurture those seeds. So as you're traveling, as you're journeying towards the life you prefer, you are taking with you what you want along the way, what you want to cultivate. All right. Whoever this is and what's hidden, the King of Cups in reverse, feels like they're a bully. They don't know how to cultivate environments at all. They just bully people. They're in a power grab. And it looks like they like treating you as less than. It makes them feel better about themselves. It makes them feel powerful to have you behind the scenes. And really, what's interesting about these dynamics is the person doing the bullying is the weak one. The one doing the bullying is actually the weak person, insecure, terrified, unstable. It isn't until you leave these environments and take your power back by leaving, not trying to convince this person to not hurt you, not that, but when you leave that environment and take your power with you, they don't have anyone to bully anymore. When you stop being that target for them, they have no stability, they have no security. They don't have you behind closed doors that they can unload on and then be loved and so kind to everyone else. They don't have that. And without that stability of making you pay, blaming you, without that, they crumble. Because this is someone who doesn't know how to cultivate relationships. I think you can recognize they don't know how to cultivate environments and relationships. You do, or you have an opportunity to learn to do that. And it looks like you're seeing very clearly that if you have been in this hermit mode, that's a great decision, to the willingness to meet yourself in deep and profound ways, to feel the emotions, to feel your emotions, to feel the upset and love yourself through this. High Priestess reverse also coming out in regards to this energy. They lack intuition. They don't have the potential. The High Priestess keeps things to herself. She is between the pillars of light and dark. She's in between. She recognizes shadow. She recognizes light. She stays balanced in between. She has no roof over her head. So she has unlimited potential. This person is out of balance. They don't know how to stay in between the light and the dark. It feels like this person, they know what they're doing is incorrect. Otherwise, why would they do it in hiding? Why would they hide that aspect of them? Why are you the only one? It feels like they would dismiss and gaslight you. That feels like if you brought that up, because they just want you to take it and tolerate. They don't want you to take your power and leave. Because this person doesn't have any potential. They don't know how to cultivate environments. They're just a bully. And being in connection with this person keeps you in survival. Yeah. Wheel of Fortune reverse. It feels like this has been a lesson. This person does not have good luck. That's the second time the Wheel of Fortune has shown up in reverse in this reading. This has been your lesson. And this person is, by being connected to them, with them, your luck is being dragged down because they're your lesson. Not to change them. You're not their medicine. But to realize, oh, I could do better than this. I can reimagine. I feel like in the Hermit energy, that's what you're discovering in November. I love this for you. This feels like freedom. This feels like justice. It feels like you are creating justice for yourself. You're fighting for justice by keeping balance. Justice, for me, I do not perceive justice as some energy, some force outside of you. If you want justice, you have to embody justice. Libra energy. Another air sign. You have to be balanced in your thoughts. Don't go down that rabbit hole of this person, that. there's a need to stay balanced on what you can control, what you can change, and that's you. That's why this overall energy was all about you. You're alone. You're reimagining yourself. You're loving yourself. You're cultivating what you want along the way as you rebuild. It feels like when you do that, then you can figure out what you want, what you desire, and fight for it. This other person's very controlling, and it feels like they want to fight and exhaust you, and they want to leave you abandoned. You might have abandoned yourself to be in this relationship, and so self-abandonment, if you keep following, I'm abandoning everything to live for someone else. When you do that, you end up a lot of times abandoned. If you don't stand up for yourself, if you don't take care of yourself, then it gives permission for others to treat you how you treat yourself. Not caring for yourself, bet your reflection is you attract people who don't care about you, who take advantage of your abandonment. You've been learning this. How could you know other than going through this experience? And it feels like you're learning this, you're seeing this. It looks like by staying balanced in your thoughts on what you want, on your glow up, not focusing on this person, because whenever you think about this person, talk about this person, even if it's negatively, you're giving them your energy. And the best way to disappoint this energy is to pull your energy from them. Disconnect, gray rock. Don't give them your emotions. Don't talk to them. Don't try to convince them. Stop that activity and just see them for who they are. They're wanting to get you upset. They're wanting to keep you hooked in. They're wanting you abandoned, but only if you agree to it. Only if you agree that they can. This person feels reckless because on some level they recognize that you've got the power in this relationship despite how they've mistreated you and hurt you. There's a recognition. I feel like this person's operating off an abandonment wound themselves. And instead of, it feels like you've gone around your abandonment wound by abandoning yourself and giving completely to someone else. They've gone around their abandonment wound by devaluing you, making you feel like you need them, you can't leave them, that you need them to breathe, to live, to exist. So, and by devaluing you and making you so small, so you could never leave them. So it feels like both of you might be working off of an abandonment wound, but showing up in a different way. Tower. I feel like this is this person's tower when you leave. Reimagine yourself, love yourself. You're going to have a huge glow up if you're not already having that. Feels like you might be keeping that glow up to yourself. It isn't about your ego. And it looks like the decisions that you're making are creating justice for yourself. And it might be collapsing this person's false reality. So, whew. All right, Aquarius, that's your reading. I hope that was helpful. That went longer than some of the others, but it's so interesting. Beautiful. I hope you have an amazing November. It feels very empowering. All right, take care.